All right, I'm fucking doing this again. I'm doing it again. The last one was fucking horrible. All right. Sorry, I just woke up. Tattoo's fake. Don't worry. I'm still testing it. Yesterday went out. I believe, I'm going to get right to the point. I don't have time for bullshitting because I have to get back out there. Okay. I can get back out there. I ended the other live stream. I'm going to delete the other one later and make this the live stream. So number one, I believe that most people are not in it to get laid in Daygame. I believe that they come into the Daygame industry because if they're in it to get laid, they'll go for the coach with the most testimonials. I have 400 plus laid in pull. But the question is, I always talk to myself, if they're all in it to get laid, and I write that in my sales letters, everyone's like, laid. Why are they not all showing up in the front doors saying, John, please coach me? Instead, it's like, John, you're unrelatable. You seem kind of mean, like professionally correct. Somehow that's a thing that's used against you. If you're not happy, like RSD Max, they assume, fuck you. So, and then you have to show some infields and shit. And I did that on the front page. You can see the playlist. This is just a fraction of drop in the bucket. It's not just me standing next to women in a club. I don't go clubbing and shit like that, or just, fucking seeking arrangement shit. It's not like that kind of shit. There's a new Same Day Lay with a 6'2" Russian. That's just a teaser trailer. Check it out on the front. But there are so many infields. I don't want to be worshipped. There are so fucking many. It's a drop in the bucket. If I posted all of them, it will cause a mass panic. I will be people will aim at me. Every coach would try to either say like, that's impossible, this, that. Then they look at my bootcamp students, they see all the bootcamp clips, but you guys are not in it to get laid. If that was the case, you would just come to me right now. And it's not because that's the problem. So what causes all this mental masturbation? Self-development. Number one, you're in it for self-development. Daygame to you is like a lot of Asian people, Asian men, it is like a therapy. So you're like, John, what do you mean a therapy, right? Are you serious? Like, you think I came here for therapy? And I say 100% yes. You came here for therapy. You didn't come here to actually get laid. And let me explain. I'm going to explain throughout this video very quickly why. I don't care if not too many people are here, but if it makes sense to you at certain points, give it a thumbs up. So imagine your parents are very narcissistic and controlling. They're completely insane. I bet all the PUAs have at least one crazy parent, whether it's the mother or the father. So it starts at a genetic level. You get yelled at every single day. You get beaten, some of you get beaten by your fucking father. Okay? You get beaten. And on top of that, a very controlling person. They always make you freeze up. So you always, whenever I say fuck, bitch, cunt, you drop off. Faggot. People drop off because it reminds them of their father or mother. If the mother is beating up the father. So this starts here. This is the starting point. This is an activating event. Okay, so the father beats up, yells at you. Mother slaps your father upside the head. So you grew up feeling like shit, but you don't know why. You feel very depressed. So around 21 years old, a lot of you will express your genes. You turn into a complete sociopath but very narcissistic. So you have this ego. The higher the ego, the lower the self-esteem. So this is self-esteem. If it goes up, the ego goes down. And if the ego goes up, the self-esteem goes down. So what happened was once you express a sociopathic gene, you start to notice around 21 years old that no matter what, you have this diluted sort of view of the world. It's like everything is fucking twisted all around. You're just like, what the fuck? And you found you're wrong about everything. No matter what you do in school, no matter what you do at your job, you just can't get ahead. You might make it to supervisor, you might make it to manager, but you never make it to the top of any industry. So at this point, and even if you start looking at RSD videos, because you have a very screwed up life. The ego is so high, you're wearing hoodies, and self-esteem is so low. So you go online and the first thing you see is RSD. You're like, oh, free video, free advice. And the people that have that likes the free advice the most, the free videos, the free shit, are usually is usually the value takers, the guy with the highest ego and the lowest self-esteem. So if I were to give you, for example, a book, you'd be like, John, no, that's okay. You don't have to give me the book. I'll give you back something else. You have to give because you're a value taker. So what happens is, genetically speaking, RSD is using this to manipulate you. So by giving you free advice videos, like bullshit advice, woo-woo self-development, self-help, bullshit. So you start to fall for it. You're like, oh, I feel like I'm learning a gold nugget. So you feel like you're learning a gold nugget from every video. By the time you have consumed every fucking video, okay, you consume over every video of RSD because you like the rants, you like all that shit. You start to, every 10 hours that you consume their content, you'll spend 1K with them, scientifically speaking. And that's bullshit. So what happens after that is that you want to take action. You want to take action. You don't actually want to go out there and fucking do it. You go out there to do it, but you're not there to close. You're not there to get laid. You just want to, because the ego is so high and you're going through so much pain. Basically, what you want to do is you want to just take action. You always do the same shit. Like John, like when I say this stance, I'm going to approach that hot girl over there and she's walking very fast. She's like 6'3". You're not me. You're not me. So you should not do that one. That's not you. So they'll run after her just to feel better for the ego. Then they say, John, I'm going to approach a 2-set. I'm going to approach a 2-set. Not just 1, 2. They'll do it in front of me. They're like, what the fuck? You know you can't close a 2-set. You're not me. So they're like, oh, okay. So this mental masturbation is just to feel better. So that's what happens, a mental masturbation. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you guys know deep down inside this is true. You just want to feel better about yourself. And for the guys with the higher SMV, the tall black guys, the tall white guys, the tall Latino guys, they get some results. They get some results out of doing this thing. And all the negative stereotypes, the medium to negative stereotypes have to grind. They have to do a lot of approaches. They have to put in that volume because their game is not calibrated. Does that make sense? Their game is not calibrated. So what happens is that over time, you mentally masturbate. You just keep doing what they call taking action. I'm taking action. It's kind of like a salesman who doesn't actually close, but he's engaging. You have to be a closer. You must have a closer mindset. You're in it to get laid. And when I tell people that, Daygame is there so you guys can get laid, they get very offended. They get very butthurt. Say, John, I'm not in it to get laid. They're like, I was like, what are you in it for? They're like, I'm in it for self-development. Why is it self-development? And why in the world would anyone want to self-develop? Because for these people who are sociopathic, narcissistic, Machiavelli manipulators, Asperger's syndrome, depression, and ADD, so they have it all in one. This is what they call comorbidity. Comorbidity is a term that means multiple mental illnesses, or what I call the PUA disease. A lot of these people have very similar traits. Few are psychopaths with this trait. And the ones with higher SMV will go in the upward spiral. The ones who are not higher SMV will go in a downward spiral. Does that make sense? So it's either up or downwards. Their SMV and the response and the amount of lays you get from women will determine their perception. Does that make sense? Either it goes up or it goes down. People who wins more, and people who loses more. The game is not fair unless you train under me to switch your downward spiral into upwards. That's why compensation theory is important. I digress. So when they're in it to mentally masturbate, they feel better by taking more approaches, taking action. I'm taking action, dude. I'm taking massive action. And massive action is very important, but massive optimization is just as important. I'll say this again. Massive action is excellent, but massive optimization is just as important. So they start learning from great marketers who have good public speaking abilities. They can speak really, really well. They have been professionally trained in front of the camera. They also have guys who are very positive. So what you're seeing is in this industry, everyone's trying to be a positive person, because if they're negative and they're direct and they're brutally honest, it hurts your ego. Your self-esteem gets hurt. So if you start triggering the snowflakes, since a lot of my audience are 25 years and older now, the younger generation of snowflakes gets triggered easily. When they get triggered, they shut down. This is what we call snowflakes. And the snowflakes, one person dropped off. It was a snowflake. So these days, with PUAs and pickup artists, I'm just going to keep preaching the truth. They'll go out there just to mentally masturbate, get offended. So therefore, they cannot be brutally honest with themselves. They're just in it for therapy and self-development. Remember, when you're training under me, you're here to get laid. On the bootcamp, 97% gets laid or pose. But that's only starting from the company I used to work with. So I'm not counting all the old ones, because the old ones, a lot of them did get laid too. I was always talented. But regardless, for you guys, you dropped off. The guys who took my boot camps, they get laid or the pole, only 3 people did not. But there's tons, the rest did. Even before or afterwards, I still count that. They still succeeded. Having said that, when you walk into this industry and you are not there to, you're not there to get results. So how does self-development work? Why would anyone follow a cult? Why would anyone want to do this self-development shit? It's very simple. There are 6 human needs. 6. So John, what are the human needs? Number 1 is the ability for what they call certainty. Certainty. Every day we need to know that when we go outside, that we have a routine, we feel more comfortable. The word's comfort. Of course, too much of comfort in our lives, we need a second thing, which is called uncertainty. Uncertainty. With uncertainty, we have what they call variety. Number 3, we need to feel important. And this is where the RSD people, I'm not just bashing RSD, I'm bashing all the other people who are not in it to get laid. Who are not in it to get laid. They are going to other companies to mentally masturbate to increase their significance. Everyone wants to feel important. And especially those with low self-esteem wants to feel with a higher ego more important. This is why they're in it to take action, mentally masturbate. They're not in it to close. The people who want to close are a very small percentage of the population. In fact, they might, who are doing like learning Daygame, if they really want to close, they all come to me. They're not. So having said that, certainty, uncertainty, significance. The 4th piece is called connection. So you can connect with women and stuff, and that's great. You know what I mean? You can connect with women and that's great, but they're not in it to connect with women. A lot of these guys who have comorbidity, many mental illnesses, do not connect with women at all. They don't connect at all. So what happens is that they start trying to connect with other guys, other wingmen, other people like in the RSD nation. So they get this camaraderie, whatever they call it, this sort of like solidarity, this sort of brotherhood. And they feel like that's meeting their human needs. That vehicle meets their human needs. And this is why they get trapped into it, because now you have certainty, uncertainty, you have connection, you also got significance, connection. But what are the last 2 human needs that I really enjoy doing? Once you have all of these pieces and you use it as a compass, the next one is called growth. In your life, you have a lot of potential to grow, and you feel like you have to grow. If you don't grow, you don't feel good about yourself. Everyone has a need for expansion. Everyone has a need they have a potential that they want fulfilled. Does that make sense? Everyone has potential that they did not fulfill. That's why they have regrets. So it is a human need to want to grow. And things like RSD Nation and all this mental masturbation, they feel like they are growing, but they're actually growing sideways or downwards. They're not growing upwards. They're not improving their lives. Then afterwards, because I said RSD, somebody dropped off, but I'm going to preach the message. I'm going to preach the message because it's the truth. Okay? It's not to brag. It's just to tell you guys the total fucking truth. How this is. I work in this industry. I know everything that goes on behind the scenes. I have the most testimonials in the world. And if you guys are here and you don't want to mentally masturbate, That's right, mentally masturbate. You will actually train with me. Logically speaking, anyone has the most testimonials, you'd be just like their students train with that coach. But it has to do with emotions. So what's the last human need? It's called contribution. I'm contributing to the Asian race, trying to improve their lives, even though they don't like me because they have all these bad characteristics. Controlling parents, tiger parents, sociopathic, borderline Asperger's in behavior, and they have all these bad qualities, in one. And they're failing with even other Asian dating coaches like Queefing Casanova or ABCs of Attraction. They just funnel, their words funnel into night game because night game requires social intelligence. And if they have sociopathic behavior, narcissism, and they also have Machiavelli manipulator, this Asperger's syndrome or this autism or this social impairment has been affecting Asian men ability to day game. So they do it at night game because they feel like night game is easier. So it's all about mental masturbation. It's all about feeling better, but most of them quit because they got the wrong coaching. And you got guys out there who just, they go to the coaches that says, oh, I got the autistic fucking face, no facial expressions. Oh, I got like whatever amount of lays, or I got this many, whatever. Okay, so where's the proof? That's a better question. Where's the proof? Evidence is what the whole industry has, which is exhibit A, exhibit B, exhibit C. But how many of them have actual evidence? I have all the way to the bedroom, all the influence. I just don't post it. Legally speaking, one of them does have it with all the sex. Do not sue me, whoever it is. If you see that, do not fucking sue me. That's all I'm saying. I censor your face very well. Having said that, but legally speaking, that's a gray area, but it's okay. But all my influence is a drop in the bucket. So the guys always say, like, if the coach gets the results, I get the results. And this is more mental masturbation. The coach does not always have the same SMV. I could be a lot better looking than a lot of you guys. Okay? But the students still get results because my race is lower than you guys. My height's lower than you guys. My muscle mass is non-existent. I can't grow muscle-wise, and that makes it harder for me. So I can adapt more. How does that help you? That helps you because it's transferable. It's very, very transferable. And that's the thing that people don't realize is that that's the reason why they say, squatting or Queefing Casanova does not seem professional because he seems angrier. That has nothing to do with the game. If he had good results and stuff, I would give him credit, but he doesn't. Like for students' day game, he wants to get Asian girls. The point is not about the coaches being nice to you or being professionally correct, because I could be just like Donald Trump. I could be just like Donald Trump and piss on the political correctness. I call all of this stuff, highlight accounts claim this, that, or RSD this, or I call it fake news. Not fake news, I call it fake game. Oh, this is fake game. It's just like when they walk halfway towards a pole location, like in a taxi, and they're like, whoa, and they say that in the infield. Come on, let's walk across the street. Whoa, what the fuck is whoa? Tranny fucker, seeking arrangements, highlight that. Whoa, like that's the only infield of day game, and that's pathetic. So if you're closing from a day two, how do we know it's even the day game? So therefore, I don't think you're that skilled. I can see through you. So the point is this, okay? The point is you either look at the coach and say, I get the same kind of results because you want to mentally masturbate. We don't have the same circumstance. We don't have the same experience. I have a lot of experience. I've been in the game for so long. It's almost like 18 years. If I say the exact day I started, I don't want to because girls actually watch my YouTube live. A couple of girls I know. I just want to say to these girls, like, you kind of know roughly what my age is now. And one of you is quite young. And I just want to say, like, what the fuck? Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Like, who do you think you are? I make more money than you. Bank hotter women than you. You are like, you're not even white, both of you. Where do you get this validation? And the problem is that a lot of women these days get a lot of validation. especially from Tinder, from social media. They get all these likes, and this is why the game's getting harder. Game is getting harder this year because women will all reject you if you look like you're bragging. It looks like you're trying to validate yourself because they have so many guys on Tinder who has done exactly the same thing. Game has getting harder where Instagram is necessary now. Instagram is necessary. You need to have Instagram so when you DHV or demonstration of higher value, they cannot deny that you bang on these other women in Europe. Even if you said that's a DHV story indirectly and not bragging, they don't believe it. They'll think you're trying to qualify and they'll say, thank you for the compliment. So this is the game. It's getting harder. And when you mentally masturbate and you don't take the right coaching, you will fail. So the message is this. Show me your instructors or show me your friends and I'll show you your future. You ever heard the saying, you are the sum of the 5 people you're closest to. You are the sum of the 5. That means the 5 people. You are the sum of the 5 instructors in Daygame that you listen to, the sum of their student results. I'll say this again. You are the sum of the results of the 5 students that you train under or listen to or buy products from. If you buy from me, guess what? Results. Almost everyone gets a result. It's like growing a tree. Some people, hard cases, like to grab the tree while it grows so it grows slower. They like to cock block themselves. But everyone gets the same results. They always get trees. It grows. It grows. My students are very different than most of the industry. They know what I'm telling them is the truth. Give a thumbs up if you really feel like deep inside John's telling you guys the fucking truth. Like you get it. My students, what they get it, they're underdogs. Most of the industry are so busy catering to tall positive stereotypes. My students are not tall positive stereotypes and they still get laid. They're in it to get laid. My students are in it to get laid. They know that race does matter. And they know that they have to adapt. If they don't adapt, they die in the game. My students are in the game. They get girlfriends early. They get fuck buddies early. They get laid. So therefore, they can exit the game and retain their success. It's easy for them. It's almost like easier. Higher SMV is the easier. But the problem is that they're not mentally masturbating. They're in it to get results. They know that if I tell them, dude, you're black, you don't have any fucking empathy. And I swear, they know that it's not mental masturbation. It's not trying to live in a fantasy world. Brutal honesty is the most important. If you look in the mirror every single day and you're not brutally honest with yourself, if you're not brutally honest with yourself that things are not working for you wearing a hoodie and you are a short Indian guy or short Asian guy, you have to learn how to use compensation theory. So mental masturbation or self-development. And the problem with self-development is what gets measured gets like results. I'll say this again. What gets measured gets results. You cannot measure self-development. So if you want to work out, for example, unless you know exactly how many inches your chest is or your biceps are, you cannot objectively measure just by looking in the mirror and feeling stronger. You feel it, but everything needs to be measured. If you're doing meditation, you cannot measure meditation. Maybe a Muse headband would be very good. So that's one of the things you can do. You can't measure self-development. You really can't. You can't measure when you're getting better at certain things. If that becomes a huge problem. You need to measure some of these things. And this is when you go to RSD and you just think self-development, self-development, self-development. How can you measure all these metrics? If you don't measure every single piece of everything, the analytics, as they call it. On YouTube, we have something called analytics. If you don't know the analytics of your self-development, you can't calibrate each piece at a time. And a lot of you are like, oh shit, you're right. If you had the analytics, I know how many people goes to my site. I know how many people go on YouTube. I know how many people are viewing from what country, what devices. By knowing the analytics of your self-development, you can start to improve it. For example, you want to make a certain amount of friends in your social circle. That could be measured. What gets measured gets accomplished. I'll say this again. What gets measured gets accomplished. And the problem with mental masturbation and self-development is Originally, self-development, according to Dan Pena, which I met, the $1 trillion man, amazing person. He believes that self-development was created by a guy who wanted to create something called self-success. So self-success was designed to be measured. That means you can measure everything you're trying to accomplish. But they say, how can we fool the dumb sheep? How can we fool them? And one guy, I think Daniel Carnegie's friend, said, you know what, why don't we just call it self-development? And that's where the whole industry was born. It's not just RSD and other fake gurus that are out here. It's not just them. In the self-development industry, you have exactly the same people. We have the RSDs of self-development. You have the same bullshit people. And you always got people who got results, testimonials. Look at the student results, and you'll see your results. For example, Kino Body. Everyone hates him. Oh, this guy's like, oh, he's skinny. He's not as big as the other guys, but he has more testimonials in the whole world. I would listen to someone like him versus listening to a tall, strong, positive stereotype bodybuilder. I would rather listen to a person who's not a positive stereotype because you don't get the same compliance. So my point is this: when you're mentally masturbating, think to yourself, let me ask you a few questions. When you're listening to RSD, right, and you're not a tall black, tall white, actually tall black students don't get results. They come to me. If you're a tall white or tall Latino guy, if you are not that, right, and you're not getting results, why do you think by listening to more what they call golden nuggets that you get more results? Second question I want to ask you guys before I go. By taking massive action, right? Like they say, I'm going to take action. I'm going to take action. I'm going to take action. By taking massive action, why? Sorry, just woke up. So why are you guys not getting the same results that you want? If it's massive action, that's why it took, then how come you're not getting it? Are you miscalibrated? By self-amusement and by grabbing the women in the shoulders and doing all this spins and all this Tyler kind of touching stuff, is it because you lack emotional intelligence to do that? It's because you lack emotional intelligence. You just start touching because you cannot flirt and you cannot feel. Is that why? Are you doing all of this just to make your ego feel better? What if I told you when you stop trying to make your ego feel better and you're brutally honest with yourself in the mirror? You look at it and you tell yourself, you can do a lot better. You can find the right coaches. And how about this? Why does your hero coach has less testimonials than me? If their theories are so right about the game and they're just like, John's like, I don't agree with John. How come my students can murder theirs in Daygame? Why do they have, and another question I want to ask you guys, why does Night Game has more testimonials than Daygame usually? Is it because of the lack of social intelligence where SMV and filtering matters more? These are tough questions to answer. Have you ever been brutally honest with yourself? If you're not brutally honest with yourself, how can you be brutally honest with others? I'll say this again. If you look in the mirror, you're not brutally honest with yourself, how can you be brutally honest with others? So when you have someone like Johnny Leet, right, saying the truth out there, like to you guys, is it possible when I tell you guys the truth and I'm brutally honest, this is race does matter, height does matter, social skills matter, emotional, when I tell you all these things and you don't want to hear it because you just want to think it's all just spam approaching, wearing hoodies, are you dishonest with yourself? Is it because I'm so honest that it really hurts your ego? If that's the truth, then you need to hear this message. You are the sum of the 5 instructors or hero coaches you follow, their students. If your hero instructors like Charisma King has no testimonials, and a lot of people have no testimonials. For Daygame, I'm not talking about Night Game, I'm not talking about online game, I'm not talking about any of that autistic shit that even JT Tran can get. JT Tran can get Night Game testimonials. But it doesn't matter because in Daygame is where the social intelligence is. Then you have to ask yourself, are you mentally masturbating self-development bullshit? Woo self-development, or are you actually trying to improve? If you're doing self-development, I'm just saying, shouldn't you measure everything? Measure your muscles, measure your body fat, measure every analytics that you can measure so you can optimize piece by piece. Shouldn't it be more scientific? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And if you do all that, then just saying, take coaching under me. That's all I'm saying. Stop worshiping and know your real reason for getting the game. And the real reason is most of you want a girlfriend. That's all. Most of you want a girlfriend. And that's what the students tell me. John, I just want a girlfriend. I was like, then don't you have to build up some of your life? It's not just day gaming more. Shouldn't you fix other pieces of your life? That's what I'm saying. And if you can do that, then won't your life change? And this is something I need to take my own advice in. I need to build more of my lifestyle. So that's what I'm saying. Having said that, I hope you learned a lot. And that was just my mentor. Even I need to learn. Even I learn from some of the best in the world. He is the best in the world. 96% of the numbers come out. You can pull them here. What the fuck? 96% number close rate. Guy you saw behind me. Even I have to be brutally honest with myself in that my students don't get 96%. He is amazing. So I learn from the best. And the best is not in the industry. The industry is just to make money or there to enslave you. There to make you worship them. They are just as sociopathic as some of you guys are. They're just as narcissistic. And they're just as Machiavellian manipulation. They're just as Asperger's. That's why that's why they're fucked up. And so the people with the high, let me ask you a question. Most of the industry, are they taller than me for day game? And the answer is yes. Are they whiter than me? Are they higher in SMV? The answer is yes. If that's the case, then what are you doing following them? If you're following a boxer who's taller than you, right, or stronger than you, will you have the same punching power? You will not have the same impact. You won't. You won't have the same impact as them, right? Because for them, even their jab, right? Their jab will be way more powerful than your right cross. Their jab, because even if they natural it, their jab will have more of an impact, right? Then their jab have more of an impact than your right cross. That means when you try to flirt with a girl, even their jab, because they're higher SMV, will have more of an impact than your right cross. You're spicing, you're teasing, you're flirting. So therefore, you're learning from wrong people. You're just mentally masturbating because let me ask you a question, more questions to open up your mind. The people that you ask, right? The people that you ask and the people that you follow. Fuck, I forgot the question. But the point is this. I hope you guys understand my point. I hope you got a lot of it. I hope you learned a lot of things in this video. If you like it, give it a thumbs up. I don't see a lot of people participating. I gotta get back to Daygame. I'm gonna go back out there. There's a lot to calibrate. The game is changing a little bit, so I think more of an Instagram to DHV is necessary because women are so used to auto-rejecting this conditioning. So it's tougher. That means there's no DHVing allowed. There's no validation allowed. There is none of that shit anymore. It's changed. I'm willing to throw away pieces of the game and discard like these other coaches. But like I said, what's your real reason in the game? I know it's to get a girlfriend, but what's your real reason? To mentally masturbate? That's what I'm saying. Are you here to just mentally masturbate? And the answer is yes. You guys know it. You guys look in the mirror, ask yourself, are you really here to mentally masturbate? Or are you a closer? Are you here to just do sales and engage people? Or are you there to fucking close? Are you there to just talk to women? Or are you there to close them? We all know the answer. When you look in the mirror deep inside, a lot of you are not here to close. You're just here to self-develop. You're here to just improve. You're just here to feel better, that growth that human needs. So RSD, when they talk about self-development, they hit all the needs. The needs for certainty, uncertainty, like I said earlier, significance, where you feel like you're part of a group or some shit, connection, growth, and contribution. Anyways, I gotta end this. It's gonna cameras, PC's gonna end. I hope you learned a lot. Sign up for a bootcamp. Summer's getting close to being over. Buy a product. I might have a sale for the Elite Playbook with 3 Skypes. I might drop off $75. Only once a year. I don't do discounts. You have no excuses now. I want you guys to get results. Success leaves clues. And you'll see more bootcamp clips, you see more infields, you see all that shit. Do not worship me. I'm just not a fucking cult. See you later.